Welcome to Up on Game presents Taylor Scouting. Coach Randy Taylor is bringing his 40-plus years of knowledge to you. This is Taylor Scouting. And now, here's Coach Randy Taylor.
Hey, folks, welcome back to LeVar Arrington's Up on Game Network's Taylor Scouting Podcast, where we talk football at every level with an emphasis on recruiting and scouting. Today, we're going to talk about a big-time 7v7 organization in the Chicago area and one of its top coaches. Welcome, Elliott Ivory, a coach for what I think is the premier 7v7 organization in the Midwest, Boom Football. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. And I will have to say, maybe my opinion is biased, but I agree with you. We are the premier 7v7 organization in the country.
I won't tell the James brothers that. Hey, so let me talk about you, Elliott.
My boys, those my boys. They long lost brothers.
I love Fig, and yeah, they're my guys. I recruited them out of high school back in the day. So Elliott is the director of media and the 15U defensive coordinator, played football at Western Illinois University, current owner and talent scout at Game Time Pros. He's working with top high school, college, and pro athletes in the country. He's producer of the Boom Highlight Mixtapes, which has drawn over 2 million total views, something I long for, and has led the Boom's 10U to 15U teams to 7 national championships. That's not a bad little resume, brother. You want to add anything to that?
The best looking, drippiest coach in the country. Those are the only two things that was missing. They should have been at the top of the list. It should have been probably the drippiest coach in the nation and then the best looking coach. I don't know how those got left out. Maybe I didn't write my bio.
Yeah, they weren't in your bio on the Boom football sheet, so you got to make sure that gets fixed, brother. Hey,
All right.
So hey, let me ask you, how long has Boom been in existence?
This is season 12, so a little bit over 13 years.
Yeah, how did
13
it start?
years now. So it started with some backyard football going on. You know, my partner and my brother, J.R. Nicholas, he has his training facility Acceleration out in Naperville. And me doing Game Time Pros, we used to cross market a lot. So I used to bring a lot of my clients to them and they would send clients to me to get highlight videos done. But amongst the athletes working out and us cross marketing, every once in a while, we'll play a little backyard football 7-on-7 outside their facility. And once we started doing that, I actually had an idea. I'm like, let's play in the flag league one season, and we played flag. And I was traveling a lot, doing a lot of AAU basketball circuit. I was on the EYBL circuit with Mean Streets. So I was like, this would be phenomenal for football. And I had the idea, and I went to JR, and I brought Ty Streets in initially. And I was like, hey, the two of you guys both played in the league. Ty Streets is known as probably the best athlete in Illinois of all time. You know, he played at Michigan with Tom Brady and won national championships. And he's a very decorated basketball coach as well. And J.R. Nicholas, who played in the league, and at Western Illinois, he was a football god. So that was also our connection, having the both being leathernecks, even though I was a walk-on and he was a 3-time All-American. We still had a relationship and a bond. And I was like, you two guys, and I'll do the videos. And I was like, win, lose, or draw, our team is going to look incredible because I'm doing the video. And that's how it started. And it blew up beyond our imagination since.
And you're still doing videos?
Yeah, so back then I used to do videos for everyone. So I used to do highlight videos for any college athlete, basically putting it together as their video resume. I started that company back in 2006. And then once we started and the way Boom started blowing up, I started just doing videos for Boom because I had the creative advantage to edit and put out the content that I wanted to put out. And that's why in the earlier days, our videos went a little viral because of my little savage creative style that I want to put out there, the super raw, in your face, competitive edge to our videos.
That's what 7-on-7 ball and now lineman camps are about, is that in your face, compete, have fun, screaming, jumping up and down, enthusiasm, passion. I mean, that's what that is all about. And I think why the kids love it so much.
Absolutely. And it's an outlet, right? So in tackle football during the fall season, you're not allowed to celebrate and to express yourself the way you are in 7-on-7. And that's in a lot of people. And you used to see it in the NFL, and now even in the NFL, you get flagged or penalized for excessive celebration. So 7-on-7 right now, until they come in and they start putting all these rules behind it, it's the wild, wild west. So people are able to celebrate and have a little fun. And that's a part of the game that we appreciate the most.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Hey, is there a charter or a founding philosophy for Midwest Boom?
Nothing is given, everything is earned.
Right.
So when we first started, we had maybe 40 kids at our tryout. The first team we went to nationals, we had 4 or 5 kids starting on our defense that didn't even start for their high school teams. And we managed to place within the top 10 or 15, I think, that year. And we really understood that nobody's going to give us anything. We have to go out and work for it and earn everything on our own. So every national championship, every win was earned. Nothing, it was never given, especially with us being from Chicago, because I recall when we first started the first few years, everybody would say, hey, I didn't even know Chicago had this much talent or football players. That's a basketball city. And Illinois is a basketball state. And we still get that now. Whether it's referees or tournament directors at tournaments, they see our teams and they like, oh man, you guys are loaded top to bottom. Where is all this football coming from in Illinois? So we never been really respected as a football state that produces football, really good football players, but we wanted to show the nation differently, and we have been.
How many teams do you have now?
Oh man, God. So we travel 2 per age group, 2 10U, 2 12U, 2 14U, 2 15U. And last year we had 4 18U teams that traveled. But we also run a regional program. So everybody that doesn't make a travel team, they get to stay and play local and get coached by the same coaches as the kids that are traveling nationally. So it's almost like a feeder program, because the tryouts are very intense and they're short. And some kids don't show up at tryouts, but through our regional organization, we're able to see their talent and then eventually bump them up.
Just a guess, maybe, how many players do you have in the organization at one time? All levels?
All levels?
Yeah.
Probably close to, I want to say 400.
Does that include linemen?
Yeah. Well, let's say 500, give or take, between national and regional, and that's Illinois. Not even thinking about our St. Louis division.
Gotcha. Yeah, you guys are kind of spreading out all over, and are almost not international yet, but soon. Right?
Yeah. Soon. Yeah, that's not the plan, but I believe It could be. It could happen. Anything
Yeah,
is possible.
absolutely. I think that's right behind you is like Mexico. I think so. That you're covering it all. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, you guys are in the recruiting business. You know, there's one side of your recruiting players for your teams, and then on the other side, you're helping your players get recruited. Do you? How much is that a part of your process and effort?
Well, it's a huge part. Actually, that was one of our selling points with me having Game Time Pros, starting the company Game Time Pros, because that's what I did. Personally, I help high school athletes get into college. And then with JR and his experience at his facility, Acceleration, having athletes come through, we want to prepare kids to become the best version of themselves. And within our organization, one, I have emails from years ago on some of the athletes who are professionals or Division I players, and me just sending their name out and their video out from 707 tournaments to coaches and to rivals and to 24/7 and to all these reporters saying, hey, this guy is next. You need to look at him. And it's funny because I look at those emails and you got responses here and there from people. But now when we speak to somebody or we reach out to a college and say, hey, you need to offer this kid, he's next, our credibility is way higher now than it was 11, 12 years ago.
That helps you on the front end too, I would think, of recruiting young kids. How young do you start looking at these kids to get on your youth teams?
10U, so third and fourth graders. And it's a process, and we take it very seriously. I myself, Michael Burt, Coach Burt, they call him, Burt Singer. We go to games Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're at youth games. We're at high school games. We go to college games. I go to a couple NFL games to see our guys. And we look at our organization more as like a fraternity for Illinois football players. And we stay connected with everybody. So we go out and support, we go out and recruit, and we go out and try to find anybody who can help us continue the level of dominance that we've been playing at.
How many coaches do you have in the organization?
Two per team. Well, not really two per team, because some of us coach multiple teams, like myself and Bert. But I want to say a total of like 14 coaches.
All
14
former
coaches, dedicated coaches.
And they're all kind of football junkies, former coaches, all kinds of different guys that are big in their communities. Is that how your guys are?
Yeah, everybody comes with different backgrounds. So the funny part about that is because when we first started it, I really felt like everybody needed to be on the board with the same mentality and personality that me and JR had. And I was wrong. I was extremely wrong. That's why in corporate America, diversity and inclusion is so important. And the companies that actually are more diverse end up having more success, because you get to get opinions and learn from different backgrounds and different people with different perspectives. So our coaching staff is like that. It's like that. Is very diverse, with people who play Division III, people who maybe played Pee Wee football and always wanted to play but were never good enough, but just loved the game and passionate about the game. You have people who were professional athletes like JR. Then you have somebody like myself. In college, I was a journeyman. So I played at junior college. I played Division III. I played at Western. I got kicked out of Western and went to a Division II school and played Division II. So everybody has different experiences, which is beneficial for the kids. So they get more than one coaching style. They get to experience a wide array of different coaching styles, which is great for our organization overall.
Hey, are there are there off-field teaching and philosophy efforts made by your organization? How does that work?
Yes, there is. Actually, on the 18U level, Coach Sam has been with us since maybe season 3, and he's actually he's what do you call it on the school level? Not a principal, but the guy that's the head of a district. Like he runs like a district
like a
of elementary
superintendent or
schools.
something like that.
Yeah, like a superintendent. Yeah, that's exactly right. So Sam DeLu, who's and he played Division III, and at his school, I think he like broke records for receptions. But he does character training before every practice, and he has a subject every week that he focuses on, and he brings the kids together. And I also do character development just a little differently than he does. I'm more so of the coach that's going to not accept anything but your best. So a lot of the kids end up disliking me until they get into college or they become a grown man and they're like, oh, I see why you went so hard and you pushed me so hard, because you wanted me to be the best version of myself. Or I told you I wanted to go to Alabama, and you was like, Nick Saban is not going to accept anybody who's bringing the effort and energy that you're bringing to practice today. So it's a lot of different character development within our organization, and I think that's one of the reasons why we have so much success.
These kids will learn, like I learned back in the day, that when a coach stops yelling at you, that's when he doesn't care anymore.
Oh, absolutely. And those are the things that we are able to, the stories we able to share firsthand. I was one of those players. I experienced things like that. And I realized as a coach, a lot of when you start coaching kids, it gives you a lot of time to reflect on yourself as an athlete and the things that you went through and whatever your journey was. And you try to make sure that, hey, I want to prepare kids not to experience what I experienced. I want to prepare kids to be ready to go, coachable, willing to have perseverance and endure the hard times. And we all tell every last one of these kids, it's one thing to say, hey, I'm about to go to college and I want to play right away. And then you tell them like, hey, college is totally different than what high school was, and prepare to be shocked and culture shocked and experience some rough and some tough days. And when the alumni started coming back, and when some of the kids that you wouldn't think, because they're professional athletes now, that you wouldn't think had bad days, everyone has bad days. It's a part of the process. But now with our organization and our community, we try to make sure everybody has someone to talk to.
Give me some names of the kids that have come through your organization that are out there that you're proud of. I know you're proud of all of them, but I guess the bigger name players that have come through.
Mm-hmm. The bigger name players. So first name that everyone throws out, and that we still throw out because this athlete has played with us, was CeeDee Lamb. And he only played one tournament with us, but he's a high-profile kid. I actually did his senior year highlight video. And the first time I saw him play, I said, hey, that's Randy Moss. Or he reminded me of Randy Moss, how electric he was. And I was wondering, he didn't get invited to any All-American game. He was only a 3-star athlete, but he's a big name. Of course, right now, a kid that started with us in 6th or 7th grade, and somehow we went and found this kid in the slums of LaGrange. His name is JJ McCarthy. I don't know if you heard of the kid, but he was there in the earlier years when my coaching style was so raw and in your face. It was before I learned to dial it back that me, him, and his dad will forever have a bond because they were there when we were fighting to become who we were today, and they was a part of that process. Then it's tons of kids. I mean, Greg Newsome, he got drafted first round, which was crazy to me because I remember when he first started playing for us, his mom said, "Hey, I know you got Greg on defense, but I don't know if you knew this. My baby is a dog with the ball in his hand." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And she sent me his video. She was, "Yeah, he played running back and he's like that and he's incredible." And I said, "Listen," and he was in 8th grade. I said, "Listen, Crystal, you can take this for what you want." I said, "I was a walk-on at Western. I play DB. I know a little bit about the game. But I said, if your son plays defense, he's going to play on Sunday." Fast forward 5-6 years later, he's drafted first round, playing defense on Sundays. Cam Mitchell is on his team, another kid. I mean, Julian Love. Man, it's so many athletes that I can say that Mark Gronowski that now is playing at South Dakota State that's dominating. I think he's going for his 3rd or 4th national championship. It's so many kids that have came out of our organization that are now shining on a collegiate level or a professional level. It's kind of mind blowing, but we try to stay in touch with all of them and keep tabs on all of them. But I would say JJ McCarthy right now, he's the hot in the biggest name. But Tyler Morris is on his team, who also played for us. I mean, we can keep going. Caleb Brown. It's a long list, right? We got some kids. We got some kids coming through.
I know you do. How do you handle the parents? I mean, that's got to be some parents just let you go. Others are heavily involved, just like a college staff and a high school staff. You got to deal with the parents. How do you guys handle that? What are their boundaries?
Oh, yeah, most definitely there are boundaries. But the thing is, we also are willing. We understand that Boom is only a very small part of the village. And without the parents trusting us and allowing their kids to come out and compete with our organization, we wouldn't have the success without them. So the parents are basically fostered in as a family. Like I said, the bond that I have with Jim McCarthy, like JJ's dad, like we still text each other all the time, and every other kid's success is basically we all share that success because we got there as a family, and we try to have open communication as much as possible with the parents, but we try to tell them, hey, this is an opportunity, seeing that we are a very competitive club organization. It's an opportunity for your son to become a young man and learn how to handle things on his own. So if he has issues with a coach and he's concerned about playing time or which team is he on or what happened last game, he needs to go to that coach directly, because that's what's going to happen in college. When you're at college, mom and dad is not around, and if you're not playing and it's 15 other dudes in the room, who do you talk to? You talk to your position coach. Hey, coach. Hey, I want to know what can I do to get on the field, or what's going on right now. So we bring our parents and everybody's involved, and we have conversations. And of course, every once in a while, we have some parents that expectations for their kids may be different than what we see and what they want, and it may be disagreements, but 9 times out of 10 we try to avoid that by having good open conversations with them.
That's great. I know the NCAA rules have changed recently in a lot of different areas. Are college coaches able to contact you guys directly?
They contact JR all the time, or I proactively, like with the relationships that we have. We got kids now like Drake Brown and Bobby McMillan Jr. that started with us our first year, that played and then went on to play D1. Drake Brown played at Illinois. Bobby McMillan played at Iowa State. They're college coaches. So it's just like, hey, take a look at New Mexico State, and I think Dre is either at Illinois. Yeah, I think he's still at Illinois. Houston Griffin played for us. He's at Illinois, director of on the recruiting staff. So we just reach out to those guys directly now and say, hey, take a look at this kid. He might be a fit for you guys, or somebody you guys should offer. But JR and myself and some of the other coaches, like JR's brother, Mike Nicholas, we all talk to our relationship, the coaches we have relationships with, and say, hey, this is a kid you might need to consider or be interested in.
Yeah, that's great. So here's the section we're in now is what I call the open gym. This is where you, coach, can talk about whatever you want, promote whatever you're doing, anything that you want to talk about. This is your time in the open gym.
And I thought about this when you prepped me earlier during the call, and what I want to discuss during the open gym is, first, I want to just show the gratitude and the thanks to all the parents and the players that helped us become the brand that we are today, and the coaches. So it's been 12 seasons. It took a lot for us to become who we are, and basically a well-known name in football across the country. And like you mentioned the James brothers. Like, for us to even produce a team and a brand that make them want to fly from California to Chicago to say, hey, I want to play this team because these guys look really good. And for us to develop a relationship through that. Like, now we go to the All-American game to see our kids, and we're down there and we just able to go out and socialize and hang out and swap stories. But I want to say thank you to all the kids and the parents and everybody who's ever been a part of Boom Nation. And the kids that we're now looking at and recruiting and that's thinking about playing for a different team. I don't think you ever have an experience like playing for the most dominant club organization in high school sports, high school and youth sports. I'm pretty sure in some years from now, it'll be either ESPN 30 for 30 or a Guinness Book of World Records for how many national championships we got. But it's not about the wins. It's about the kids and the character and what we're doing for the kids and the character that they're developing throughout our organization, because our mentality and our mindset is total domination. And it's not about total domination in football. It's about total domination in life. So I want you to see and dominate in corporate America, or starting your own non-for-profit business, or whatever you're doing, whatever your endeavors are. We want you to be great, and we want you to do things the right way by earning them and not trying to duck the work. A lot of kids today duck the work, Randy. I don't know. I don't understand why. They want it easy. You 40 years in the game. You 40 years in the game. So you understand more than anybody else, but a lot of kids want to duck the work, and they don't like the challenge. When we was the only thing in Chicago and Illinois, they had to come and try out if they wanted to get better all season. Now there's other options, and I'm telling the kids, hey, I know there's other options, but are you going there because you're be comfortable there and you scared to be uncomfortable? Because on the other side of being uncomfortable, that's where greatness lies. That's how you become JJ McCarthy. JJ didn't come in 7th grade and he was just the man, and he just wowed us with 6th and 7th grade. He actually worked up through our regional program. He played regional, and we used to call it in-house back then. He played regional, and then he was killing it so much that the coach that coached him said, hey, you might want to consider taking him to a national tournament. So I reached out to JJ, said, hey, man, the coach said you've been killing it. And his dad was like, really? And we brought him up. And you know what? They flew down to Atlanta, and JJ came off the bench behind 2 other quarterbacks. We didn't start him still. He had to earn it. And him and his dad appreciate that. I'm telling other athletes, hey, don't be afraid of competition. Don't be afraid to feel uncomfortable. Don't be afraid of the work, because on the other side of that, who knows who you can become.
You know, I love it. You knocked it out of the park, Coach, and I just want to thank you for joining us and wish you luck, Elliott Ivory and Boom Football. So thanks for being with us today. Hey guys, remember to catch Taylor Scouting on Fridays at 9 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, the Up On Game Network. Up On Game presents Taylor Scouting Podcast, and on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasts. Rate and review our podcast, and follow us on all social platforms by searching the Up On Game Network, and follow me on X at rtaylorfbscout. Appreciate y'all. Thanks, Coach, and we'll see you next week.